You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It is good to be back. It's the Outspoken Network here with your hosts, Brian and Jeff.
What's up? What's up?
How's it going? We are glad to be back. We are back full go on Friday nights, guys. Looking forward to jump into it. We got a lot to talk about, Jeff, as we've missed quite a bit, but we are back. We took a little bit of a break as I've been busy with work and you've been busy and Craig's been busy, and Craig is not here, as you can see. Unfortunately, he went to Munster Jam in Austin this weekend, so he's down there enjoying that. But we got some lot to talk about. We will fill you in on what's in our locker at the end of this segment, end of this episode, on what we've been up to. It's episode number 130. We got playoffs. Playoffs? Are you talking to me about playoffs? I love that quote. Every time I think about playoffs, I think of the Lions head coach going crazy. All right, Jeff. Yeah. We need to have that clip. So
I know. I need to have that soundbite for sure.
So good. It's been a weird NFL season this year. I feel like that is the perfect way to kind of explain how we thought things might go. Mediocre. There's been a lot of mediocre football this year, in my opinion. We can get into that here in a little bit too. But first, I want to open up with all the coaching moves. There's been a plethora of coaching moves, and I think we got to pay homage real quick. We got to pay homage, starting off with a little bit of college football, as Nick Saban, the best college football coach of all time, steps away from Alabama. Kind of took it by surprise. I don't know if people were prepared for him to step away.
It's an end of an era.
It's
an end of an era. It's been like crazy success. I mean, they've won so many times over the tenure that he has been the head coach of the Crimson Tide. So it's just like incredible.
He's made Alabama into the team that everyone hates, right?
Yeah.
That means he's very successful. Honestly, best college football coach of all time. No one will touch him, I don't think. But he talked about in his interview that his health, he couldn't be who he wanted to be, and that was time to step away from the game. And I think a lot of it had to do too with the whole transfer portal. Every year now in college football, you basically have free agents every year. And it's a battle to win these guys every single season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a wear and tear on Nick Saban that he probably was like, you know what, maybe it's not for me anymore. But kudos to him and all his success. Now,
Well, I mean, I mean, not to foreshadow. I mean, where I guess this would be foreshadowing, but they're like the Patriots of college football. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
he runs a tight ship. He doesn't put up with any nonsense. He's not afraid to bench players, uh, good players, if need be, to set an example. When you play for him, and I've as a Bronco fan, I mean, Pat Surtain is a good example. He played for him. And he explained multiple times that when you play for Alabama, it's no nonsense. I mean, you're there for a reason. You're there to win. There's no accepting defeat in a lot of ways. I mean, he runs an organization very similar to New England.
Most definitely. And he it's got to be hard to fill those shoes, right?
Yeah.
Well, it came out today that Washington head coach DeBoer will be replacing Alabama Nick Saban and taking over from there. And I really like what DeBoer's done. And if you go look where he's been, he's had success throughout his college career, and he's turned franchises around, and exactly what he did with Washington. I think people will sign up to play for this head coach. They say he made Washington who they were. The guy came in and changed it, and they had success overnight. So I really like the head coaching hire. They didn't take any time. I mean, this was Nick Saban out. 2 days later, we got DeBoer over here. It may have been just a day later, honestly, but I really like I don't want Alabama to succeed because they've always been successful, but I really like Washington's head coach and what he did last year with Washington and that football team. But DeBoer and Alabama's future looks bright. And what's crazy to me too, Jeff, if you think about Nick Saban's success, their off year, they were the 4th best team in the nation this year.
Yeah.
That's his off year. So hats off to him.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not to say that it's not possible or it's impossible or we can predict what's going to happen, but let's just say that maybe this coach is a good coach, but this opens the door. I mean, this is a good example of even what happened to the Patriots in the NFL. I mean, it opened the door for other teams to kind of come in and do something, and add some fresh kind of teams to the mix and stuff. And so I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm not saying that they won't be successful, or do I wish they won't? But I mean, it's interesting. It does open up more doors for teams especially like Washington, who was just kind of came out of nowhere. But they had talent. There were other teams that that maybe you aren't going to expect or anything like that. So it's pretty interesting. I think now that this kind of era of Saban is coming to a close, because it does kind of open up more, especially eyes to the coach for Washington, which is also cool too. So now we're going to get to see him a lot more, and he'll have a lot more public, I guess, a lot more of the media on him.
Yeah, a little bit more pressure probably taking over that franchise.
Yeah.
But what makes it kind of easier for Coach DeBoer is next year we get 12 playoff teams. So it's going to water down the playoffs, which I don't like one bit, but next year that makes it a little bit easier for them. So we'll see how it plays out.
I think it might be fun to have something like that. I mean, it's going to, anybody getting in has a chance at that point. So
I'm on the other side of it. Now, look, now we're going to get off in a whole different kind of situation here, but they had 4 and they went straight to 12. Could we not have tried 6 or 8 first?
I would have thought. I thought 8 would be and then 12, but
that's my problem. They went straight from 4 to 12. So, and we'll see how it pans out. And maybe they're like, hey, this isn't a good product. We'll go back to 8, or we'll go, something like that. But we'll see. But speaking of all the success in the world, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots have parted ways in the NFL. And obviously, whether you hated Bill Belichick, you're a Patriots fan and love him, Bill Belichick will be the best coach in the history of football. He has 6 NFL championship rings. His success there with Tom Brady, they seem to do it every single year. We all hated it. I hated it growing up.
His defenses.
His defenses were changed the game. I mean, outstanding have a head coach. Now, I don't know if he retired. He said they stepped away. Is he going to go somewhere else? I'm not sure. I don't think he will. I think he will kind of just retire off into the sunset. But who knows? Who knows if he will or not?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what. I think the thing is that people need to understand is what does he have to prove at this point?
Right.
You know, a lot of people said when Tom Brady left, it's like, well, who was it, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? I don't know.
That's such a dumb argument.
You know,
I
it
can't
could
stand
have.
that argument.
Bill Belichick was a defensive minded guy. Like, I don't think he ran much offense. I mean, he coached Tom Brady, but I don't think he was the mastermind behind his success. I think it was a mixture of bringing in the right offensive minds to work with him, coaching him in general, like, you know, getting his mindset to think win now, win all the time. Pushed him. I think Belichick pushed him a lot.
Definitely.
But in terms of the success of the team, I mean, it's so weird. You would have to literally flip everything and go, well, was the defense good during the time Tom Brady left? Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, they were pretty decent. I don't think they really fell off and did horrible defensively. Offensively was different.
Terrible.
Obviously, but
Absolutely terrible. Now you're right. You know, and I can't stand that argument, Jeff. Of was it Belichick or was it Tom? Tom went and won a championship in Tampa. It was definitely
they both obviously needed each other.
All him. It's time. Look, in the NFL, you need a good quarterback, or you're not going to win. Right? You're not going to have that success. You're not going to win the big games and go to the Super Bowl and win it. You're just not. Right? Tom Brady was a good quarterback, and made his wide receivers better than they were. And then Bill played great defense. Like that's the perfect combination, right? I can't stand that argument. I don't know why it has to be one or the other. They were great for a really long time, and a lot of people hated it, including myself. But kudos to Bill Belichick and all his success, best coach in NFL history. Now they were quick to replace him with I believe linebackers coach Jared Mayo, who used to play for the New England Patriots, so he knows about the style that they want there, the style that Robert Kraft's looking for, and we'll see if he's successful or not. Look, the team is honestly at its lowest of lows. They don't know what their quarterback's going to be.
Right.
They don't trust. I don't think they trust Mac Jones. They don't trust Zappy. There's a lot of question marks. The most question marks I think we've seen since the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady era. And if Jared Mayo's got a tough task in front of him to turn it around, because once you have that success, Jeff, as you know, being you're a Yankee fan, having that success, they don't handle failure very great, right? You're a New England Patriot. We won 1 billion Super Bowls, and we want Super Bowl or bust every single year.
It's hard to
a tough task.
Yeah, the thing about it is it's hard to. There's not many teams like again, I'm a big baseball fan. Obviously, I'm a big Yankee fan, but there's not many teams that have the success that my team has had for that long.
Yeah.
It was a long time. I mean, they were around since 1903. So it's way longer than the NFL has been in the picture. And then soccer probably would be the next thing closest to that. Or even on par. So it's kind of weird. I would kind of even understand, like, I would compare it kind of similar to like the Lakers, maybe. Because New England's had their success, but you got to understand before that it was horrible.
Oh yeah, horrible.
Playoff exits, like it was not great, and so really it was during the Tom Brady era. But if you even go back and look at a team like even the Lakers, they had players even before Kobe, and they were hugely successful. So it's tough, but
you know what I'm saying is
yeah, I
that
know
when
what
you
you're
have that
saying. Yeah,
success for
yeah.
a certain period, they expect it.
I think that the Patriot fans should never have never expected, because what they had was special, and before that they didn't have much like that. So when it comes to like a Lakers fan or a Yankee fan, or those successes were accounted for before the players before that, the players before that, and so I don't think New England will. It would be very odd for their fans to really think that was just going to continue after Tom Brady and after Bill Belichick. I mean, it would be weird to think that. So I think that it was fun while it lasted. It was many years of championships and crazy moments and playoffs in general. So it's going to be a long road, and it'll be very interesting to see where this team goes. So,
all right, Vrabel is out in Tennessee, which is an interesting one. I really like Vrabel. I think he's a good coach. I think they didn't really give him enough talent to work around. They were that team that always made the playoffs. They played physical. They have Derrick Henry, but they never really had a good enough team. So he's out in Tennessee. Kind of surprised by that. I thought Vrabel might be a candidate for New England. He played there, knows the kind of football. Interesting to see where he goes. I think another interesting move is Pete Carroll's out in Seattle. Now, he is not technically, I guess, fired. He's stepping down as head coach, but will stay with the team in a consultant kind of manner. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, some like office thing, or behind the scenes, I guess.
They didn't want him as head coach anymore, but they felt too bad firing him for what he's meant to that franchise, I guess, and stepped out. And rumor is that Dan Quinn is the favorite for that job, the defensive coordinator.
That I could see.
From Dallas, the defensive coordinator for the Legion of Boom. It's comfortable there. I think he will go to Seattle. I think Dallas Cowboys do lose him this offseason. Jerry Jones has to pretty much money whip him every year so he doesn't leave, and he's a very high quantity, or whatever you want to call it. He is. I think he goes to Seattle. I think it's a perfect fit for him to be back there. Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, out with the Commanders. He should have been gone last year when he didn't realize the last two games of the season he could still make the playoffs, and bench his quarterback. So I don't know how he made another year. He is out there. I don't think he coaches ever again. He's not a very good head coach. He's just not.
No.
Arthur Smith, arguably one of the worst coaching jobs I've ever seen with Atlanta, is gone. They fired him the day after losing to the Saints. Did you see him get in an argument with the Saints quarterback or the Saints coach?
No, actually I don't.
So they're playing the Saints. Saints are annihilating them 41-10. And they have the ball at the 1 yard line. There's no reason to run a play. They're basically in victory formation. They're going to kneel the ball and they're going to win the game, right? Well, Jameis Winston decides to go rogue, snaps the ball. The defense isn't playing because it's victory formation. You're not going hard on the ball, victory formation. And they run the ball in for a touchdown, and they go up 48-10. And which is, Arthur Smith had every right to be mad. That's BS, right? That's just straight up Bush League.
Yeah.
So he goes to shake hands with the head coach of the Saints, and he is just ripping him a new one, just F-bomb, and that's F-bomb ridiculous. And found out later the Saints head coach said, yeah, I called victory formation. They went rogue. I want to apologize. So it was crazy. And then that night they fire Arthur Smith out in Atlanta. Brandon Staley got fired in the mid-season of the Los Angeles Chargers, and you also got openings with Carolina and the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would be very surprised if they didn't bring the head coach, the guy who was an interim head coach for the Raiders, back. I can't remember the dude's name.
He used to play for the Giants,
Yeah.
and I think he played for the Raiders too. At some
Yeah,
point,
he was like he did I think did a decent job. I wouldn't see why you wouldn't bring him back for at least a year to see if give him a full year, and the other players seem to like him. Players seem to like to play for him. Um,
probably because he can relate, right? I mean,
yeah, and I think also they were playing pretty well. I didn't say they weren't blowing it up, but they were pretty competitive under him. So I don't know, give him a year and see how he does. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. Seems pretty an easy fit.
Antonio Pierce, that's his name.
Yeah, he was really good. I think they played a lot more competitive and with a lot more passion, I guess, under him. So,
All right, it's time to ask that question. Out of all these job openings, what's the best situation? What's the worst situation? That is the question.
worst situations in Atlanta.
Oh, you think so? You think Atlanta?
Mm,
That's interesting.
I would think so. I think that they're maybe a little bit out versus like the Chargers. I mean, you have a good quarterback. You have pieces there. There's not much to really try to fix. Maybe fix the O-line, but Atlanta, you don't, it
I
just
would.
just seems like that's
Oh, they're definitely on the bottom.
yeah.
They're definitely one of the teams on the bottom. They're not my bottom team. My bottom team's the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah. That's
This
true.
is a team that they drafted their future quarterback this last year, and he looked abysmal. He didn't look like he belonged on the football field.
I forgot about the Panthers. They are the worst. Are they the worst team?
They're the worst team in the NFL.
Gosh.
They will have the number 1 draft pick, but guess what? That goes to Chicago Bears. So
thanks a
for
lot,
that, Carolina, you jackass. Now the best throw of the season from Carolina was when their owner threw a bottle of water at a fan. That's their best throw of the season.
That's right.
Carolina's definitely the worst. They got a quarterback that I don't know if they believe in. They've got a team that's not talented whatsoever, and an owner that has no vision for this team. It doesn't seem like. I think the best is definitely L.A.
Yeah,
You've got your quarterback. You've got good players. The hardest thing to do there is to bring in a culture of winning.
Mm-hmm.
They've never had it. They've had talent. They've had talent. They've never had a culture of how to win consistently.
Right, and the thing about it is like they have the talent right now, but you cannot just let it. Kind of like what happened with Phillip Rivers. You can't just let it just kind of just stagnate and sit, and then eventually it's like, oh well, Justin Herbert's retiring now. It's like, oh well, that sucks.
Wasted another good one.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really build anything around him, and you didn't do anything, so that was kind of a joke. And now you have to start from zero again.
I think in LA, I don't know if what's his face? The offensive coordinator that used to coach for Dallas.
Kellen Moore.
Maybe he steps in. Right, he's been the head coaching candidate for a long time. Maybe he steps in. I think.
But that also depends on if they were happy with the offense.
Yeah, I don't think they were. I mean,
now then, if that's the case, and what would change? They
didn't look very good. But
yeah,
maybe he pulled a Jason Garrett. And what I mean by that is he played horribly on offense, so Wade got fired and he took over. I don't know. I'm not accusing him of that, but they were just one a good football team.
Well, that's all right. Wade won a Super Bowl anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So did DeMarcus Ware.
The Atlanta Falcons are interesting to me, and I say that because they have a really good tight end that they don't use. And I'm drawing a blank on his name because they don't use him very much. They just drafted Drake London. They have a really good running back. They drafted a running back last year in their first round spot, and I said, "What are you doing? You only do that if you're only a couple players away from Super Bowl. You're not. You're miles away from Super Bowl. Your quarterback. You don't have a quarterback. You
Yeah.
got all these weapons to use, but you don't got a quarterback throwing the freaking football.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith was abysmal, and he should have been fired. Ron Rivera should have been fired. Yeah. Pete Carroll's an interesting one because I feel like Pete, and I told Craig this too. I had to go on a Pete Carroll apology tour last year, because they did so well, and they did. I mean, the Seattle played pretty good this year too. So I think they really got to figure out the quarterback position there. But I don't think they're not all that talented either. Up there in Seattle, in my opinion. I mean, they got DJ Metcalf and stuff, but
yeah, that's old people though. I mean, I think the thing about Pete Carroll is he got lucky on a lot of draft picks early on. If that's him, I don't know. If that's other people within the organization that have either come and gone, general managers, whoever.
Well, he also got the best out of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that guy. Whew.
Well, the thing about it too is a lot of those players. I mean, the Legion of Boom is gone. You know, Pete Carroll. I don't know. They must have just not picked very well in the drafts, and maybe that's what's going on. Is they are okay, but they're not great. Like, you know, they're in contention. Like, none of that, and obviously the quarterback situation, which get in line. Every team is in situations where it's like, is this our quarterback? I don't know. You know, so it's just, I don't know. I think that maybe he just doesn't want to deal with a rebuild, which is very possible, you know, with this team. And I say that kind of lightly because I think they have some pieces, but you bring it up. Metcalf, right? Lockett. Is Lockett still there?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, those guys are getting old. And then it's like, okay, well, what about the quarterback? Well, I mean, you don't have much there either. And
there's not a lot of faith in Geno.
You don't have a running back anymore, you know, like you did before. Like it seems like it's, to me, they're maybe a season away from just going,
yeah, less imploded.
Let's just get rid of these players. We're definitely not going to be signing back Metcalf and these older guys. Like, for what? They could test the free agent market if they want to continue playing football. Like, but I think it's close.
How old is Metcalf?
I don't know.
I'll have to look at. I don't think he's at. Oh, I mean, Lockett's older, but
Lockett's been around for a while. He was part of the Super Bowl team. Metcalf, I assume he's been in the league for what, 9 years, 10.
No. He's 26.
Okay.
He got drafted.
But I don't think that they're gonna. I think that they look at it like, look, we can probably trade this dude and get something for him.
Yeah, because
if they're gonna rebuild, I don't think that guy will be a part of it because I don't think he'll want to. He'll want to trade. He'll want to get out of there so that they can do what they need to do, stockpile picks, and restart this.
Most definitely.
You know? The other thing about the Raiders, I'm gonna if Bill Belichick decided to come back, that has been a big rumor. Is him going to Vegas?
Interesting.
Why, I don't know. Is he somewhat associated with the Raiders of some kind as a coordinator in the past or what? Because I don't know where that came from, but I'm like, is he somehow? I thought he was with the Giants.
Either he was with the Giants or the Jets, and then the Browns, and then New England.
Okay,
but I don't know.
Huh?
The Raiders, I think that's a job I'd stay away from too. They never seem to be.
I don't know.
Successful.
I don't know about that.
All right, Jeff, let's get into the playoffs. I'm so excited for football this weekend.
I'm not. No, I'm kidding.
There's a lot of should be good football games. Should be. So we're gonna go to the AFC first.
Yeah, hopefully.
There's some tough decisions in these games. These aren't going to be walkaways. So you got Baltimore with the bye. They get the first round pick, right? They've had an astounding season. I don't think anybody talked about them because I don't think they have a lot of faith in Lamar in the playoffs, but that's another discussion another day. You got number 2 Buffalo, who won their division after having kind of an off year this year, who snuck back in it, won their division, finished strong. They go play the Steelers at number 7. It's in Buffalo. The weather's going to be a factor. It's probably going to be cold as all get out. Now, I think, oh, hey, Derpy Entertainment.
What's
Derpy
up?
Entertainment says Dallas pulls with Dallas, and he thinks the Packers are going to win. Now, hold on, Derpy. We're talking AFC here first, okay, buddy? Don't get ahead of ourselves. It's going to be a very interesting conversation when we get to that game.
We'll definitely get there.
Definitely
for sure.
get there.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure that'll be a big
your
one.
positivity, sir. Buffalo versus Steelers. Honestly, don't know how the Steelers are here, right? Their defense
That's
is
a
good.
surprise.
Their quarterback is not very good.
Is it Randall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer.
Rudolph, yes. Yes.
I don't know.
Rudolph.
I don't know if they have I don't think they have a shot at beating Buffalo. The only way they have a shot at beating Buffalo is if Allen throws 5 interceptions.
Yeah, if Buffalo
And that's
absolutely
that kind of
implodes, yeah,
and it could happen.
I go Buffalo.
any minute.
It could, it could, but they're playing in Buffalo. That's a tough place to play, and to win. But that crowd's going to be going. Like it's going to be a great home game for them, because that crowd's just absolutely wild all the time. There. Have you ever seen like their tailgate stuff?
Oh yeah, they jump through tables like
Yeah, they're absolutely insane.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the reason that I mean it's hard, yeah, and I get what Derpy's saying. I like Pittsburgh. I like their coach.
Oh,
I love their
that
coach.
coach is amazing.
Tomlin is awesome. I love the guy. And I love that I think the players love to play for him. No matter who they are. So no matter if they're young, old, it doesn't matter. They love playing for the guy.
Oh yeah.
So, but if I were to just be straight up betting, like if I were to say I'm going to put some money on this team, I'm going with Buffalo. Unfortunately, I think Pittsburgh is still going to be a competitive team for many years.
Oh, yeah.
I think they'll stay. They're just building these pieces back.
They got to find who the quarterback
We're not
is.
far away. We're not far off from the Roethlisberger era. I mean, it's only been 3-4 years since then. And they were.
There's rumor that Mike Tomlin's out as head coach of the season, but I'm not.
I would be
I'm not sure.
surprised.
They don't
honestly.
They don't get rid of head coaches very often.
No, I like the guy. It's kind of like Baltimore. It's the same dude.
Yeah.
He's been there forever. So yeah, I go Buffalo, but I can understand. I can understand
Steelers.
also kind of wanting to pick the Steelers too. But
Reality,
I would love to see it. Honestly, I would love to see Pittsburgh upset somebody and just kind of come out of nowhere. But money wise, I'd go Buffalo.
yeah. If I'm betting money, I'm going Buffalo. Derp says reality says Bills, but my heart says Steelers. I've been doing reverse psychology. He's speaking it into existence there.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a, I know the Cowboys hate the Steelers or whatever. I'm not a Steeler hater. I really like their head coach. I think Kenny Pickett is okay. I don't think he's the guy, but we'll find out. We'll see what goes on. But give me Buffalo to beat the Steelers at home. The next one's interesting, Jeff, because it's going to be negative 40 billion degrees. The Chiefs and the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they lose a lot in the last half of the season. They lose that freaking division, and now their gift they got because of all that losing is they get to go play Kansas City in the playoffs in Kansas City when it's supposed to be negative 5 degrees.
It's going to be a crazy game. And you got to understand, too, Kansas City receivers have a hard time catching the ball. Now you're doing it in negative temperatures.
Yeah.
So
you're throwing a brick out there.
It could definitely be a very sloppy game.
It's going to be on both sides.
And honestly, in terms of, I would just drop it down to Miami. Just, here you go, Tyreek Hill run. Here's a small short pass run. Like it's just I could see them doing a lot of.
Here's
that.
the tough one for me on this game. the Chiefs are missing something this year. They're not the Chiefs that we thought they
No.
were, right? And but they have a better defense. They have a
do.
better running back. And who's going to win this game? It's going to be the team that can run the ball better because
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to throw the ball
It's
downfield.
cold.
It's cold. Now, I also have a feeling that Dolphins could come out and just spit 35 up and win. But
they could.
I just can't go against the Chiefs.
I don't think
home.
that. I think.
In this
I think
weather.
the thing is, yeah, and I think the thing is until we see the Chiefs actually lose in the playoffs like that, like not make it to the next round, not make it to an AFC Championship game, actually just get owned, then no one's gonna believe it until they see it. If we see that, that's concerning.
Yeah,
but until then, it's tough to go. Kansas will probably not win this game.
Honestly, if it wasn't -5, I would go with the Miami. But -5,
right.
sloppy game. The Chiefs, I think, are built better for it.
It's gonna be a weird game. I'll say that. But I think if if Miami does something crazy and they just blow them out, I'm gonna be like, what?
I'd be surprised.
Like, and then at that point, I would go, oof. Next year, oof. I don't know.
Derp,
what's wrong with this
going
team?
With the Chiefs. I like that pick too.
Yeah, and I get it. I would too. Like I said, unless we see something insane, if Miami comes out and does something crazy and blows them out, I'm going to be like, okay, now we can have legitimate conversations next season of, is Kansas City as good as they are? Is Travis Kelce going to retire? He keeps talking about it. I don't know why. Or he says he thinks about it all the time. So, yeah, I don't know. But I'll go Chiefs.
I got another question for you too, Jeff and Derp. Is this because this game's going to be so sloppy and not very entertaining? And do you think this game should be moved to an indoor facility? Do you think this game should be taken out of the elements? That's a tough one.
I don't like that though. See, that's the whole thing is I like that hard-nosed gridiron. Like it's outside and it's meant to be outside, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I don't like that. I like that. You see them, you see the old clips, like back in the 80s and the, these tough mud bowl type games. And you're just like, man, that's awesome.
I agree.
Like,
well, my thing too is Miami's going to complain about it. Hey, maybe win your division next year and you get a home game.
But yeah, you get to play Miami,
How about that? So
hopefully it's not a hurricane.
Also, the Steelers, I forgot something to mention about the Steelers game, is it's supposed to be hurricane-like winds. Speak of that. It's supposed to be extremely windy. They sign waivers to play the game football. Football is football.
Yeah. I mean, they get paid high money to play, so I like it. I think it's awesome. I love seeing the crazy game where it's like snows just they can't seem to get it off the field, and it's like people are slipping, and the ball is just it falls and it doesn't bounce, it just sticks. Like it's crazy. It's crazy because it creates tons of insane scenarios that could possibly happen.
The tuck rule game and
it's so crazy, and I love it. So I think I'd keep it wherever it's supposed to be is wherever it's played.
The next game might be the hardest game to pick of them all. Number 4 Texans versus the number 5 Browns with Joe Flacco carrying them on their way.
God, I can't stand Joe Flacco.
You hate Joe Flacco, yes.
Yeah.
Being a Broncos fan over there.
He's just, I don't know. He knows me. And
now, let me tell you what. CJ Stroud is the real deal. All right. He's an absolute beast. He is the guy there in Houston. I've turned it on. I turn on more Houston Texan games this year than I ever have in my entire life, Jeff.
He's the new exciting player.
Yes. He's fantastic. He's going up against the number 1 defense in the league. They've got a veteran quarterback that seemed to come out of nowhere in Joe Flacco, who knows how to win these type of games.
How ironic. You give him a defense. Sounds like the Baltimore days.
This one's tough for me to pick. Now the Texans. So long story short, the shop supervisor at my work is a Texans fan. And this year he goes, Brian, I bet you we'll have a better record. I bet you lunch will have a better record than the Packers at the end of the year. And I said, there's no way. It's the Houston Texans. Well, Houston Texans were one game up on us, so now I got to buy him lunch this next week. Thank you, CJ Stroud. Jeff, you go first. This one. This one is tough. You choose first.
Houston's playing with house money. I think that they're young, talented. They stole one. I shouldn't say they stole because the Broncos just let the guy walk. But what's his name? Jackson, a defensive player, is now on their team, who got flagged literally anytime he hit anyone, and then got suspended. But so now he's playing for them. Their defense got a little bit better actually, and that guy, as long as he doesn't knock someone out. But to me, it's just not enough. Like, I think he's still pretty young. The coach is still pretty new. There's young. The team is really young. So I think that in some ways there's some veteran knowledge that maybe Cleveland has, that they already know what to do to get to him. Because you got to understand, Stroud, as great as he is, he's been beat a few times by some good defenses. The Broncos, I think, beat them. They had a pretty decent defense, not as good as Cleveland. I think Cleveland has a little bit of a better defense than the Broncos, but
Cleveland has number one defense in the
right.
league.
So there you go. I just think that it's tough, man. It's a tough task there. I go Cleveland just based off of the fact that their defense is really good and CJ Stroud is still young, still going, and yeah, I would have to disagree on that, but to me, I'm a defensive kind of minded. I like defenses, and I still think that they're going to find some way. If they get to him early in that game, I think it's a wrap.
Derp. Let's see what Derp has to say. It says, I would pick the Browns, but CJ Stroud beating Cleveland would be a Cleveland thing to happen.
It would.
He also says, and even if they got hot and somehow made the Super Bowl, I support their baseball team. They'll pull to Cleveland. So he's going with the Texans.
Yeah.
I've got the Browns. All right. I think their defense is tough. I think they're going to get to CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud makes a couple rookie mistakes, maybe 2 interceptions. I think they keep it close. I think the veteran leadership over there for Cleveland with Joe Flacco, I think they know how to win these games. So I got the Browns winning this one on the road against Texans. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I think it's going to be very close. But give me the Browns to beat the Texans to go on to the next round.
So my question too is, can that offensive line keep Stroud clean?
No.
And if they could not do it in the Bronco game, which I think is one of the games he got hurt in. I can't remember though. I can't remember which game it was. It was either the Bronco game or maybe it was the game after something. He got injured, hurt. They took him out and he didn't play for the rest of the game. And so to me, it's like, that wasn't the number one defense that did that. So if that's the thing, then this is the number one defense. And if they start getting after him and and that offensive line cannot hold water, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
And a scary day at that point where you're kind of going, if he keeps getting hit, I'm like, what do? You need this guy. You don't want him to have a season, a year-long injury or something crazy, where it affects next season. So it's just it's weird. It's weird. I don't know.
It'll be interesting. CJ Stroud can run around a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be a bloodbath back there, but it's gonna be tough for him. I think
hopefully not.
You got to tip your hats to the Texans. Tip your hats with you when you have a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, and a rookie wide receiver who they're missing, by the way, and Tank Dell, who ended up breaking his leg this year. He got rolled up on real bad, and so bad that they didn't show the replay. And he's their deep threat. Anyways, I digress. Kudos to them, but I think they have an early round exit. And if CJ Stroud and them get past the first round, it won't be a surprise, but That will be a good day for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, and then you could potentially have wouldn't you have a Kansas City, Houston at that point?
It would be Buffalo.
That,
It'd be
oh
Buffalo
yeah,
and the Chiefs. It would be rematch, and it would be
oh yeah,
Baltimore
that's true.
and Cleveland.
Gosh, that would be crazy.
Yes,
Yeah, Houston and Buck. Jeez.
and then you got Lamar going up against the #1 defense in the league to go to the next round. All right,
man.
Jeff. I get on to the NFC.
Oh goodness.
The NFC, the 49ers get the #1 pick. Obviously, the best team in football, in my opinion. They get to bye. Now, the game you've all been waiting for. Number 2 Dallas Cowboys take on the Green Bay Packers at number 7 at home. Let me start off by saying one thing, Jeff. We weren't supposed to be here. This is a rebuilding year. We had no clue what our quarterback was supposed to be.
You're right.
We had no clue what this rookie offensive weapons were going to be. We are the youngest NFL football team in the history
Yes.
to make the playoffs. I still got. I sorry, Derp. I don't see the Packers winning this football game. I don't. I've got to be realistic. Derpy said I said what I said because he said the Packers were going to win earlier. He said the Cowboys will cowboy it up and find a way to lose. Now, I will tell you, Cowboy fans, this though. Crazy things happen when we play each other. They do. So it wouldn't surprise me if we won, but I just think if you look at it on paper, the Dallas Cowboys they played fantastic at home. Dak Prescott to me has taken it to a next level this year. He's actually an MVP conversation. I think Coach McCarthy. I got to give dues where dues are due. Right. I got to give what they've done this season is pretty dang impressive. But this is where they're measured, the playoffs. So we'll see what the Cowboys do in the playoffs.
Always been a regular season team.
When they face tougher teams. I think our defense isn't good enough right now to slow down CD Lamb and Ferguson and Cooks and the guy that we had to slow him down got hurt this week. And Jair Alexander, he's day to day right now with a rolled ankle. This defense is going to get after Dak Prescott. He will pressure Dak Prescott. We got Gary on the outside. We got the rookie Vaness. We got Preston Smith. Campbell is our linebacker. I think we'll pressure the quarterback. I just think right now Dallas at home is just really impressive, and I got them winning. Now I hope just to keep it close, but I have Dallas Cowboys unfortunately winning this football game.
Oh man. Gosh. This is a weird one because
I don't want to pick them, but I
can see the wheels fall off for the Cowboys really easily. Really easily. I don't think Coach McCarthy has done great this year. I think he's done okay, but he does make mistakes, like questionable play calls, time management issues still. I think that may creep up in the playoffs. It's very possible. It happened last year. Things like that. Weird stuff where I think it was one of the game. I don't remember if it was the last game because I didn't pay attention to the last games there because, especially for the Cowboys because they were playing god awful team. It was kind of like he kind of went for it and then they didn't make it. And I was kind of like, why would you? And so they ended up turning the ball and I was just kind of little things like that. I'm like, you could have kicked a field goal there and just maybe even finish this game and just little things. Mike McCarthy does things. It's odd to me. But I do think that I will pretty much expect that will creep up in the playoffs. In this game, I don't know. Because I could see Dallas just owning Green Bay. And it's like, oh, well, that's kind of what everyone thought, right? Mm-hmm. But then again, I can see Dallas screwing up big time.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of a game.
Couple picks.
Couple picks.
Fumble.
I'll say this. If you guys pressure Dak Prescott,
I think we will.
you can win that game.
We just got to protect our quarterback.
Throw his rhythm off, and I think you can win that game. But man, I don't want to pick the freaking Cowboys, dude. I really don't want to pick them. I cannot stand them.
Oh,
I can't deal with it. Their fan base is just, oh gosh. You know what? No. You know what? Absolutely not. I'm picking Green Bay. You know what? I'm going. I'm not gonna go.
Do it. You can't.
I'm going to pick Green Bay as an upset because there's always going to be an upset in the playoffs, people. And at this point, I have not said any upsets to this point. This is the one because it's happened so many times. So I'm like,
let me point this out. The Cowboys the Packers are 9-1 in the last 10 games against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Derpy says, I will point this fact out about the Dallas Cowboys. He says the last time the Cowboys won it all was the year I was born, and they played the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, they did. I remember that
Cowboy
one.
fans. Now, Derp, I don't know where you live, but me and Jeff grew up in Texas, right here. I still live in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm in enemy territory this year.
Not far from the little headquarters in Frisco.
I live in enemy territory, and I love it because I get to argue and with a bunch of my friends, and it's great. It's fantastic. So
if they won though, Derp, it would be just I would throw up in my mouth.
Oh,
and not only that, he would have to listen to it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Not just for a year or the off season or next season. No. This would go on for 20 years.
Now, I love living in Texas. I love Texas, but that's the downfall. Is
I mean, literally, like they still talk about the last time they won.
They can't get over the Dez drop either.
Oh, no. And it's just, right now, Dak is the MVP. Last offseason, throwing his jersey in the trash, lighting it on fire. My dad saying, "Oh yeah, they need to get rid of him." Okay. Now it's like, oh no, it's crazy.
Well, that's why. Well,
it's just crazy. And guess what? If they lose that game, fire everyone.
Oh, if they lose Green Bay, they're going to be calling for Coach McCarthy said.
Not just that, it'll be Dak. It'll be just blow it up. That'll be the way to do it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm going for Green Bay. I want an upset.
I like it.
I want fun. I want funny videos. I want Cowboy fans crying in the stands. I love it. I want it.
I just told my people at work, I said, if Green Bay wins Sunday, I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to cry laughing all day long. Just going to laugh.
I don't think and honestly, I'll say this, Derpy. I don't think Jerry Jones is ever going to see another win. He wants to see one before he dies, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Let me turn the Cowboys' logic on themselves, okay? Because look, Derpy says that he dropped that. Dez Bryant did not catch that pass, and they all argue they had to change the rules because they had to change the rule to make that would be a catch. So what you're telling me is at that time, the rule says that wasn't a catch. Because if they had to change that rule to make that play a catch, that means at that time, it wasn't a catch because of the rule. Is that not true? You can't if you're changing a rule that going forward that would have been a catch. That means at that time of the catch or the non-catch, it wasn't a catch.
Right.
So you're just it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, they can't get over it. I send it to my buddies all the time.
They'd seriously argue with a brick wall. So, and their brick wall for years has been trying to win playoff games. So, I mean, it's just
they haven't won their division back in back-to-back years.
No, and that's not greatness. I mean, this is supposedly like the Yankees of NFL teams. Like their fans are so everywhere. Every game's a home game, and it's just kind of like this whole notion of like, well, they got to win. They can't win on the road. It's like, well, then you're not good. Like you can't win on the road, and you can only win at home, and that's the whole motto about this team.
They don't.
Then I don't want to listen to it because that doesn't mean you're good.
They don't play good against good teams.
Yes, and that's the thing. That's why I want Green Bay because everyone's dogging on Green Bay right now, and I want them to take them out. I know I kept saying I want San Francisco to do it. It would be even better if Green Bay
I would
did
love it if Green Bay
to be
did it.
honest.
Because the only way they play San Francisco is the NFC Championship game, and I don't want that to happen. But
No, but it would be funny to see them just get destroyed in in a big time game like that. But I want to see this. This upset would be
it'd be great.
icing on the cake.
Now the next game is number 3 Lions versus number 6 Rams, and the interesting part about this is Matthew Stafford going back home to Dallas's Lions dreams of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a storyline that writes itself there.
It's a good game.
It's gonna be fantastic. This might be the best and hardest matchup and best game of the playoffs. This weekend. This one's tough. I'm not supposed to like the Lions, right? Because they're in my division, but I like their head coach. I like Dan Campbell. He's a likable guy. His press conference about biting kneecaps off, and just fantastic guy. The Lions are a good football team. They play good offense. They play good defense. Hutchinson's a beast they drafted from Michigan a couple years back. They have a couple injuries that worry me here. I think Stafford's kind of Stafford has been way better this year than they expected. The Rams have been better than we expected this year.
Lately, yeah.
They're going in
especially
on a hot streak.
lately.
They drafted rookie of the year possibly in what's his name? Nakapua or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He came from BYU. He came out of nowhere. He's absolute beast.
Is he didn't get hurt, did he?
No, he didn't get hurt.
Okay.
I want to pick the Lions. I really do. But
Lions, man, they have a lot. They have a big chip on their shoulder right now.
I think with their injuries and the fact that the Ram, I think if you pressure Jared Goff a lot, which the Rams probably will, I think he's going to fold. Mm-hmm. And give me the Rams on the road to upset the Lions.
I agree. I like the Lions. I really want them to succeed because they just have been not good for so long.
Yeah. And that's my thing too. Is like this is the first time ever.
It would be a nice. It would be a nice hey, they took out a big team and they're on to the next round. That would be nice, because it's just that city hasn't, they haven't just Barry Sanders' skeleton is still in that closet, man. And they just have not had the success that I think that they kind of deserve in some way. But I just think that, the coach, Jesus, what's his name? Not McVay. I think he's going to dial up a scheme.
Yeah.
And it's going to be too much. So I go with it. I agree with that. I go with the Rams. And also veteran experience, playoffs. They have won, so they do have that there.
They have
right, they have a championship, and not only that, just Hall of Famers on defense.
Yeah.
And so it's a different level when you get into the playoffs, and experience from especially defensive stuff and trying to shut down a good offense. I think that I got to go with the Rams. I'll be shocked though.
Derby says they banned the Stafford jerseys in the stadium. Give them the Rams. Stafford has better playoff experience though. You are correct. I think
true.
Everyone counted out the Rams. I was like, the Rams are done this season. They're done. And
I thought that too. And they kind of snapped back to reality. Not reality, but they put it together towards the end there, and so. But you know what though? That's kind of interesting because they're playing on a different level at the end, and their seed level may not reflect that, right? So everybody's like, "Oh, they're 60." But they may be a different kind of team coming into this game, versus Detroit. So I don't know. And Detroit's lost some close games too lately.
Well, they've lost. They've had a bunch of injuries.
Yeah, and that may stack up.
Derp says they are the 6th seed. Yes, sir. They are the 6th seed. Now, last week I'm cheering on the Packers to win. Obviously, we beat the Bears to make the playoffs. They were the 6th seed, but since the Rams beat the 49ers, it moved us to the 7th seed, or we would have been the 6th seed facing the Lions, and I'd rather face the Lions. We beat them once this year. As a Packer fan, that'd be a good game. Now, if the Lions win, they'll automatically go to play Dallas no matter what. But if the Rams win, then the Rams will go face the 49ers, and the Bucks or the Eagles will go to Dallas. Now, the last game is the Bucks and Eagles, and let me tell you what, I have never seen such a drop off, such a firestorm as the Eagles have been the last half of the season. They were 10-1, and they fell off a cliff. There's talks about Nick Sirianni being fired at the end of the season.
What?
A.J. Brown has deleted all Eagle stuff off of his social media.
That's so dramatic.
I have never seen. Oh, wait. No, we've seen it before. The Eagles made it to the Super Bowl. They win it. 2 years later, they fire their head coach. They tear everything down. They do it again. They go to the Super Bowl. They don't win it. And here we are talking about how the Eagles are going to fire their head coach. Hurts isn't the guy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He's hurt. He's leadership issues. The head coach can't wrangle him in. What is going on in Philly? I don't see how they were 10-1 and they lost the last 5 games of they were 5-6 to finish out the season. They were 1-5. They lost the last. They only won 1 game in the last 6 games of the season. 10-1, and you didn't win your division. That's how bad they are. Cry, Eagles.
Is it injuries? Is it? I know Hurts dislocated his finger or something ridiculous like that.
Well, that was after they were getting blown out by the Giants, 24-0.
Right, but still, hurt. What? But I mean, in terms of injuries, are there other injuries? Offensive line, defense, how does it just drop?
After they lost the 49ers, they made a switch to Matt Patricia to call their defensive plays. He's been abysmal. The defense has been abysmal. The offense is not. There's something missing because last year, right, the Eagles dominated. They won. They beat everybody by so many points. And everyone's like, Hurts is the guy. I was like, man, Hurts is the guy. This year, the games they were winning were 1-possession games. They were barely squeaking by these teams, and then it kind of all come from for. I don't know if it's something in the locker room. I don't know if it's a head coaching issue. I don't know, but they're in very bad shape right now. They go to face the Buccaneers, who have nothing to really lose. Someone had to win that terrible division, right? And it happened to be the Buccaneers.
As bad. I mean, okay, so if Hurts is, I don't know, let's say he's healthy and his finger isn't bothering him, I could see them winning. I could see the Eagles winning this game, but really close, dude.
Yeah,
like really close, and it's kind of like, oh, maybe the Eagles are back, and it's kind of like,
cry, Eagle, cry. Derp.
Maybe they're not back.
Derp's going Bucks. Very ballsy move there. Yeah. I got the Eagles winning this one.
It makes sense.
I think
it's for the Bucks, but it also, if it's just, I could see the Eagles winning something on a field goal or .
I think they keep it closer than it should be. They sneak out of the first round.
Right.
They go on to face the Dallas Cowboys and probably get mud stomped. Which would be terrible, but I could see the Bucks winning this game. I don't believe in the Eagles too much anymore after dropping off so fast. I don't know what it is.
I'd love to see Detroit actually play Dallas personally.
Yeah,
get some revenge on that one.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be great if Detroit won. If Detroit wins, they're gonna play. Well, if Dallas wins and then Detroit wins, they're gonna play.
All right, that'd be a revenge game there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that coach was, those players were not happy at the end of that game.
Now, I will tell you this. The Lions were wrong in that. It wasn't the refs.
No, I know, but I just the way they
Man.
lost it, I could see the Lions just being like, you know what, we're ready to just destroy the. I could see something crazy going on.
So you picking the Eagles too?
I am, yeah, and a close game, field goal, last 10 seconds.
And Baker, I think, is a little beat up too. I just don't think he's
Oh yeah,
all
that's
healthy.
right.
So
Ooh,
those are our playoff
yeah.
picks, baby. Let's see. I was going to pull up the schedule because I don't remember exactly the schedule for tomorrow. And what's really annoying to me, Jeff, is
Philly fans are not. Yeah, I agree with that.
what's really annoying to me is the you have to have Peacock to watch one of the games. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, which one is it?
It's the Kansas City game.
Oh gosh, that's crazy. Okay.
So if you're a Kansas City fan, you better get you some Peacock because now look, I'm not going to complain too much because I already have Peacock.
I do too.
So I'm not.
I got it with my internet or something.
I'm not going to be, raising the pitchforks, but I think it's dumb. Every playoff game should be live on TV to watch. Period. End of discussion. And now you're making people go out and get Peacock, and you're making them sign up for this or sign up for that. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. From the NFL, and I just saw something pop up on ESPN. First time ever a game is exclusively on Peacock for the playoffs. That's not nothing to brag about. Your fans hate it. Trust me, they don't love it. So,
well, first of all, it's NBC, so it's kind of like that's ridiculous. It was already going to be on NBC anyway. Why isn't it just on the regular? I don't know.
All right, so here's the matchups. Saturday, the first game to knock it all off. It's Cleveland, Houston. Be a very good football game at 3:30. That night on Peacock is Miami going to Kansas City to play in some very, very bad weather. You got Sunday, you got Pittsburgh going to Buffalo at 12 o'clock. You've got Green Bay and Dallas at 3:30. And you got Los Angeles and Detroit at 7. And then Monday night is the Philadelphia Eagles going to Tampa Bay at 7:15.
What was the Dallas one again?
3:30 on Fox.
Okay.
Tickets as low as $50 at AT&T. That is BS.
That's it?
No. That's what this says. There's no way. It's a little standing room tickets. Last I saw were $250. Standing room.
Whoa, standing room. Wow.
I can sit in my couch and watch it on 85-inch. I'm good.
No, you need to spend $250 to stand.
Yeah, no, that's outrageous. Jerry World's gonna make his money though. So
yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
I forgot my light is not working, so I have.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, most people probably will find a way to like do a trial of Peacock and they just cancel it.
Yeah, that's true. That's what people do, and I don't blame them. Now look,
that's what I did with because I don't have we don't have the TV thing anymore. So like I had NFL Plus and I just did a trial and I watched I think the Broncos. It was like the one game that they needed to win to possibly go to the playoffs or have a chance to get, and then they lost and I just canceled it. I was like, get out of here.
I have unfortunately, and this is not a brag, but I have every streaming app available.
Oh, okay.
I got Max, I got Peacock, I got Showtime, I got Paramount, I got Apple, I got Disney, I got YouTube TV. Well, but YouTube TV is my TV provider. Yeah, it's not a brag. I probably should delete a couple of those, but we just continue to pay for them because you like this. I have Peacock now. I can watch this game. Amazon Prime. I have Amazon Prime too. So
I'm surprised none of them are on there.
But it's not a brag. It's actually probably a big waste of money, but that is what it is. I'm hoping I can get the NFL Sunday ticket next year. I got to smooth it over the wife to let me pay for that next year because it's still like $300. It's.
Can you still get Sunday ticket without getting the main package?
Yeah, you can get. Yeah, you don't have to have YouTube TV to have that.
Okay.
So you can get it.
Because their prices for Sunday Ticket has been insanely low, especially like towards the end of the season. It was
Well,
like,
yeah, when it dips down and like halfway through the
yeah,
season, they're like, hey, now I only
they
pay
cut
this.
it.
Now I
Yeah.
only pay this. They cut it down, which is nice, but I want it the whole year. It's like 250, $350. And but
Gosh.
what I do like about YouTube TV is obviously I only get certain games in my area, and I'll push to record every NFL game. But the next day, I can go back and watch any game. It records it all on my.
Right.
So I just have to wait a day, and I can go watch it. So, I like that aspect of it. But
Yeah.
all right,
My hope also is maybe, and we've been talking about this for a while.
oh
We've just never done it,
what?
but actually go live on the Super Bowl. And you
Oh,
can actually we can put a little thing in the deal and have the actual score like at the top. You see where the
yeah,
sportscast is at the top.
yeah.
I don't know. We've talked about that for a while. We may or may not do it, but yeah,
That'd
it's
be
always
cool.
it's always been in my mind. I'm like, that'd be kind of interesting, but
It'd be
doing like a live
no, it'd be
episode like
great.
as
I
the
would
Super
have
Bowl is
to.
going on.
I would have to see how I could watch it, the Super Bowl, on the screen as I'm talking.
You can pull up YouTube TV on your browser.
Can you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah, you just open up a different browser.
yeah,
Like right now, I
I have
pulled if you grab the tab and pull it out, yeah,
yeah.
you can just
I
start
have
to
my notes on my one side and our restream on the other side, and
yeah.
that's how I do it. And all right, well, it is that time. We're coming to the end of the episode. We talked about the head coaching positions changing. We gave our kudos to Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, and we talked about a very interesting playoffs coming up this weekend. We're
Yeah.
super excited now. Jeff, it is that time. I ask you, my friend, what is in your locker?
Oh, man, it's been a long time since I've been on here.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the last time I was on here, honestly, and I forgot, so I, like, logging in to do the stream was just I was like, "I don't remember the stuff." Um, busy, work, life stuff, holiday stuff. Um, work's been interesting, so they company bought us, so we're doing all like this transition to like their stuff and you know doing the health benefits, which was all wonky. I got it figured out yesterday. Um, got 2 raises in that process, um, which was really nice. Still doing graphic design on the side, doing a lot of book covers and stuff like that. So still doing that. I actually got to go tomorrow at 11 to go help someone upload their book covers and change. We have to resubmit their stuff. So because they typed it in and they misspelled on the title and we have to go redo it. And that's going to be great because it's going to be 3 degrees whenever that happens. Um, so doing that, trying to like chill out this weekend, honestly, as much as possible because it's gonna be really cold here. It's supposed to get like 3 inches of snow tonight. So, but yeah, kind of just paying attention to baseball stuff, just off season. A lot of the free agents just at a standstill. I don't know what's going on. There's just nothing going on. Nobody knows where anyone's going. It's just everyone's just kind of. You thought that when Yamamoto dropped, like all in the in Shohei Ohtani, everything would just start falling off, But that is not the case, which is really weird. And we're not that far off from spring training and catchers and pitchers meeting. I'm like, this is getting close, guys. Like, things need to start happening soon. So just kind of like seeing what the Yankees are doing. We missed out on Yamamoto. I don't think he was ever going to sign with anybody other than the Dodgers. Just seemed like it seemed like any Japanese pitcher or any player is going to LA, just because it happened to be close, which is so weird. But yeah, paying attention to that, playing some MLB The Show lately, just trying to go through my second season as my utility player, dual threat, so pitcher and catcher, or pitcher and center fielder. That's been fun. I've been getting into that. And then finished. Yeah, the last time I was playing Spider-Man, I think probably I finished that, platinum that. That was fun. That's it, really. I mean, just getting ready for the next year. Um, my wife's we're still promoting her stuff, so she's gonna do some more events coming up. So yeah, right now though, it's just everything's just chilling out. Just I think we're supposed to come up there. We're saying February. I don't know. She's got a couple events in February, and I think we may wait until March, but we'll see. It's We are going to come up there, but it's just trying to figure out when's the time. Her mom's got sick recently with
Oh, that's not good.
COVID, so and she's dealing with like long COVID stuff. So her mom's kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready for everybody or for you guys to come in February. So we're just kind of like figuring out when's the better time. But I know we're going to be coming up there soon. Um, maybe for a week, maybe for around like a part of the week or something like that. So, but yeah, well, we haven't been up there in a couple of years, so or down there. But yeah, that's what's in my locker. What's going on with you?
All right. Well, work has been very busy. Last year I got promoted as supervisor. It's been hectic ever since. This year looks to be a little bit better. We're fully staffed finally, and um, so that should relieve us from me and Craig from going too crazy at work. But hopefully, yeah, it's a ever changing world in the trash business. But um, I've been busy just around the house. I've been busy with work. I'm on a better schedule now. Craig goes in early. I go in late. We've kind of stuck to that schedule, so I love it. Craig likes going in early, and he goes in at 1 a.m. to about 11 a.m., so it's 10 hours, and I go in at 6 a.m. to when our last driver comes in, which is usually between 3 and 5, so it's about 10 hours. So I'm able to stay up with the wife and go to bed at 10. I'm a normal schedule, which is fantastic for me. Love it. I can stay up and watch the games and do all that stuff. So I love it. Absolutely love it. I haven't really gamed a whole lot. Last time I gamed, I've been playing Spider-Man and Call of Duty. I haven't got the new Call of Duty yet. Still waiting to get that one, but um, it's pretty much about it there as far as gaming goes. We are watching. You remember the show Making a Murder on Netflix that came out a couple years ago? Well,
Yes, I was muted.
well, we're watching Convicting a Murderer,
Okay.
and I don't know if you know who Candace Owens is, Jeff, but
Yes.
I love Candace Owens. Um, she did her own investigation of this,
Okay.
and it's 10 episodes. It's on the Daily Wire. I signed up for another thing so I could watch it. And she goes through 10 episodes and tells you all the stuff that they don't tell you in Making a Murderer.
Hmm.
Because I remember watching Making a Murderer,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why is this guy in jail? We were
Yeah, it
angry,
was
right?
weird.
Like,
Yeah.
why is this guy still in jail? He did nothing. After watching Convicting a Murderer, I'm now mad at the two ladies who decided to make Making a Murderer, because
Mhm.
if you actually watch it and they bring out the facts of actual police reports and actual facts and evidence, these Avery is absolute scumbag, and so is Brendan Dassey. Like,
Yeah.
so it makes you like it's a good watch. If you go watch Making a Murder and then you go watch Convicting a Murder and see all the stuff they left out, it just makes me boggle my mind why they would make him a documentary on this guy to make him seem like he's so innocent when he's absolutely a scumbag. And so we just finished that last night, and it's a good watch if you want to go check that out. I got something pretty interesting, Jeff. My um one of my nieces is she's in college going to UNT for film. She likes to
Mhm.
she's going to be a director. Like, she wants to direct.
Nice.
Awesome, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, guess what they're working on? They're working, Jeff, on a Last of Us short story.
Nice.
I was like, dude, that is awesome. So I'm excited when it
That's-
comes out to see it. And
Yeah, they're doing. So there's an actual Last of Us documentary that they did for Last of Us Part 2,
no.
and like all the stuff behind the scenes of when they made the game.
That's cool.
Even up until like COVID and like how it affected the game, like them making it, and then like when the leaks came out, what they were thinking,
Well, yeah.
and how the development team felt about that, which is probably freaking horrible because it's like all your work for 5 years gets leaked
Yep.
in one night, and you're just like, great, you know. Yeah, it's and then like even the decisions they made, I'm not going to say anything on here, but the decisions they made at the beginning of the game, Brian, that were a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Why and how they came up with that. I was like, oh man,
That's cool.
nice. So there's a trailer out. I don't know when it's coming out, but I know when it's out, I'm definitely going to watch it because I think I watched the first one when they did the first game, and it was really cool to see how they came up with
and
stuff.
The show, yeah, that seems awesome. The show is fantastic too. So,
oh, geez,
but
and I think they're already starting. Like they have the casting down. They've picked characters that we're into already. So it's a go, man. It's gonna be
well, I told her,
crazy.
I said, when shall finish it? I want to see it. That's freaking awesome. And this weekend, well, if I don't know if she's doing it the whole time, but I think only on Saturdays. If the rodeo's in town, she's actually going to be the person directing the cameras, like, back of there in the back scenes saying, hey, get camera 2, camera 3. So directing that.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Other than that, that's about it. We're going to start these shows again on Friday nights, probably about the same time. Friday about 7 o'clock. We got to pick a time and go from there. But we're looking to talk about the playoffs, obviously, and excited for football. I got to get back into watching some basketball and hockey again. And baseball's right around the corner. We've got a lot of off-season moves that still hasn't happened. Where's Jordan? Where's Montgomery going? Is he coming back to Texas? Let's pay the guy.
I don't know. It's crazy,
Blake
dude.
Snell
It's like quicksand.
A Cy Young winner that's still on the free agent list.
Even like trades, like there's still. It's like you hear these rumors and you're like, nothing's going on.
Yeah,
nothing.
So
it's quicksand.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a great episode, an hour and 21 minutes as we continue to keep talking. But we're looking forward to be back. Craig should be back next week, and we'll break down the wild card weekend games and talk about anything else that happens during the week during sports. And
thanks for Derpy for coming in and chatting with us.
Yes, thank you, Derpy. And if you guys want to chat with us live during the show, you have to go to our YouTube channel and you can comment right live to the show and be part of it. We are grateful for anybody that does that, and thank you, Derpy, for taking time out of your day to do that. We are back better than ever, ready to roll. Thank you, Jeff, for your time, and
it's been fun.
It has been fun. God bless, and remember,
keep it outspoken.